Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on a fascinating linguistic journey, diving deep into a single word that has echoed through millennia, shaping empires and defining human conflict. That word is Belum. You might have heard it before, maybe in a history class or a movie. But what does it truly mean? Let's start with the basics. In Latin, bellum is a noun. Specifically, it belongs to the second declension and is neuter in gender. Its basic forms are bell, bellum, belly. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this a grammar lesson? Stick with me because understanding this structure is the key to unlocking its power. The most direct translation of bellum is, of course, war. When a Roman historian like Livy or Tacitus wrote about bellum, they were talking about large-scale, organized warfare between states or major factions. Think of the Punic Wars, the Gallic Wars. These were the great bella of the Roman world. Bellum signifies a formal state of conflict, often declared and conducted according to certain customs, however brutal. It's the kind of war that involves legions, strategy, and political stakes. But bellum is more versatile than just war. It can also mean battle, combat, or fight. So while bellum could describe the entire 100-year conflict, it could also pinpoint a single brutal engagement on a dusty plain. Imagine two centurions shouting orders amidst the chaos. They are in the midst of bellum. This dual meaning is crucial. It captures both the macro-level strategic reality of war and the micro-level personal experience of a fight. Let's dig a little deeper. The word also carries the sense of military force or arms. You might see a phrase like praer bellum, which means to prepare for war. This preparation isn't just about a declaration. It's about levying troops, forging swords, and gathering supplies. So bellum isn't just the abstract concept of war. It's also the physical manifestation of it, the armies, the weapons, the entire machinery of conflict. So we have war, battle, and military force. But where did this powerful little word come from? Its origin is actually a bit of a linguistic mystery, which makes it even more intriguing. For a long time, scholars believed bellum came from an older Latin word, dulum. Dulum is built from duel, meaning two, and it originally meant a duel or a fight between two people. The theory was that over time, the D sound shifted to a B, and dulum evolved into bellum. It's a neat story, right? The idea that the word for massive warfare evolved from the word for a one-on-one duel. However, modern linguists have challenged this. They point out that dulum and bellum actually coexisted for a time. Dulum was often used in a more archaic or poetic sense, while bellum was the common, everyday word for war. Some now propose that bellum might derive from a Proto-Indo-European root connected to swelling or striking. This theory is less romantic, perhaps, but it paints a picture of war as a violent, explosive force, which is certainly fitting. This debate shows us how language is a living, breathing thing with a history that's not always straightforward. Now, let's see how bellum has marched through history into our own language. The most obvious descendant is the word belligerent. If someone is belligerent, they are hostile and aggressive, literally waging war. Bellum gere in Latin. You can almost see the Roman soldier in the word. Another one is bellicose. To be bellicose is to be inclined to start wars or fights. A bellicose nation is one that favors military solutions. Notice the subtle difference. Belligerent describes the state of being at war, while bellicose describes the inclination or desire for it. And how about a beautiful but less common word, antebellum? This literally means before the war. In the United States, it's most famously used to describe the period before the American Civil War, particularly in the South. The bellum and antebellum is that specific, defining war. The term itself carries a heavy weight of history, nostalgia, and tragedy. Then there's post-bellum, its opposite, meaning after the war. It refers to the period of reconstruction and recovery following a major conflict. These two words, antebellum and postbellum, act as historical bookends, with bellum as the pivotal, transformative event in the middle. Even the name of a popular goddess is tied to our word. Bellona was the Roman goddess of war. She wasn't like Mars, who was the god of military strategy and masculine valor. Bellona was the embodiment of the horror, destruction, and frenzy of war. Her priests were known for their wild, ecstatic rituals. Her very name, derived from bellum, connects her directly to the raw, untamed spirit of conflict. Let's look at some famous Latin phrases that really show bellum in action. Perhaps the most famous is from the Roman general Vegetius, si vis pacem, para bellum. If you want peace, prepare for war. This single sentence has influenced military and political strategy for centuries. It captures a fundamental paradox, that strength and readiness for conflict are sometimes the best deterrents to it. The bellum here is not something desired, but a necessary preparation to secure pacem, or peace. Another powerful phrase is casus belli, which translates to an occasion for war or a cause of war. In international law and diplomacy, a casus belli is the event or action that a nation uses to justify going to war. It's the spark that ignites the flame. It highlights the formal political dimension of bellum, and for a more poetic touch, we have Horace's famous line, "Dulcet decorum est pro patria mori." It is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. While the word bellum isn't directly in this quote, the entire context is war. This was the ideal presented to Roman citizens, that the ultimate sacrifice in bellum was a noble one. Of course, the 20th century poet Wilfred Owen would later use this line ironically to expose the horrific reality of modern warfare, showing how our perception of bellum has evolved. So from a simple second declension noun, bellum expands into a whole universe of meaning. It is the formal declaration of war between empires and the desperate, muddy fight between two soldiers. It's the weapons themselves and the very spirit of conflict embodied by a goddess. It's the dueling it may have come from and the belligerence it has left behind in our own vocabulary. It's a word that forces us to confront the duality of the human experience. We use bellum to create bookends for our history, antebellum and postbellum, recognizing war as a fundamental, world-altering event. And we use it to express a timeless, cynical piece of wisdom. Si vis pacem, para bellum. Bellum is more than just a word. It's a concept that has been at the heart of human civilization for better and far too often for worse. It's a testament to how a few letters can carry the weight of legions, the clash of swords, and the course of history itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the word bellum. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. If you enjoyed this journey through language and history, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Let me know in the comments which word you'd like to see us break down next. Until then, stay curious,